I work as a ranger in the Black Hills. We sometimes see a large black dog walking around the old ghost towns. Most of them are not really towns, just some foundations that are left. The dog is completely silent, and when you look at it, it just stares back, but if you turn your back on it, it slowly paws its way closer to you. You can see it getting closer out of the corner of your eye, but as soon as you look right back at it, it freezes again. It's huge, easily over 100 pounds and matted. Looks old, like its flesh is not quite tight and strong anymore, you know, like an old dog does, but its muzzle is still jet black. Most of the time we just saw it at night, and your headlamp or truck lights would catch a flash of its eyes. I don't know anyone who has let it get too close, but it always scares the shit out of me. Normally seeing it out of the corner of your eye will alert you, and you can get in the truck and drive away or otherwise find an excuse to get the fuck out. As you drive away it tends to stand in the center of the 2-track or road and watch you drive, almost like it is noting your truck or something. A couple people have shot at it, but missed. I used to have this blank theater mask that I put on while standing in front of people's houses in the middle of the night. Never saying or doing anything except trying to get eye contact with the people who were up at that time. Sometimes I got a scared face or startled scream, but mostly I went unnoticed. Carefulness was important, so I only went out at random dates in different neighborhoods. Thing is, this one time a guy actually came out to meet me. I was going to run away, but when he opened the door he just stood there looking me in the eyes. It became a game of chicken, but I didn't budge. He seemed delighted that I strayed and took a step to the side, signaling to me I could come in if I wished. However, I had noticed that he wasn't wearing any form of nightly attires. He was fully clothed, shoes included. The thought hit me that maybe he didn't live there. So I ran, and once I came home I got rid of my mask. I still can't forget what he shouted to me as I ran. "Why are you leaving? Aren't we the same?" Might as well tell my story. I was about 12 or 13. Walking back from shopping center in England with my uncle, around 45 years old at the time. Decide to take a shortcut and walk through the woods. It was a nice bright day, so why the fuck not? We get the feeling that we're being watched and can hear brushes moving. I'm telling him something about this video game while he listens. Something in the bush repeats what I'm saying, but extremely garbled. I'm scared but don't show it. Start closing my eyes when we walk through bits that have bushes on both sides. It says it again but much clearer. My uncle looks annoyed and says, "Kids with nothing better to do." We hear it back perfectly. Like it echoed. It repeats 4 or 5 times. We both think it's kids and decide to fuck with them. Uncle, he was the kinda naughty uncle. He'd let me swear around him, which I wasn't supposed to do at my age, says I'm a queer and I like blokes. The thing repeats it perfectly and says it a few times. We think it's hilarious and we're saying all sorts. We start to smell a rusty smell a bit like pennies. Wasn't too odd because the lake nearby had run off pollutants. Zero sound at all, birds have stopped, wind stopped, and so have crickets. Something starts to chase us and we get split off from one another. I can hear Uncle shouting my name, so I start walking towards it. He's in a field clearing, looking around for me. Go towards him. Glance back because I was always a paranoid boy. See Uncle behind me. A non-stop. I'm really hungry. Look forward and see Uncle again looking for me. Look back, see a really stiff version of my uncle without much facial expression. Bolt straight off to the clearing and we both ran home. It fits the type of story that's usually posted here about skinwalkers. I have other uncles with experiences but they refuse to talk about it. After going to Carlsbad, all I can imagine is getting lost down there, wandering aimlessly through the hundreds of still unmapped tunnels trying to go in a generally upward direction, and vainly attempting to conserve your flashlight's battery as much as possible while still avoiding falling into a deep pit. Standing in the middle of a colossal underground chamber, straining your eyes in every direction for a glimpse of light, but only soaking in what is likely to be your grave. Oh, you'll call for help, sure, and sound can echo a fair bit through those tunnels, but amid the miles of labyrinthine passages it's unlikely another caver would hear you, or find you if he or she did. Maybe in your desperation you'll hope you will stumble upon some strange benevolent cave creature to lead you to the surface. Or find a passage to some form of inner earth. Slowly it will dawn on you, however, that it seems much more likely if a cave creature larger than blind crickets existed down there, it would be the one doing the finding, not you. Yes, in your delirium you'll realize that for many hours now you have been followed, watched, stalked even. And as your flashlight slowly dims you'll grow fearful. Afraid to look anywhere but straight ahead, for fear of what may or may not be lurking in the inky blackness. Finally your light will go out, and you'll be forced to sit and wait for the end or blindly crawl through the tunnels a few hundred more feet before giving up. Naturally your occipital lobe won't know what to do in absolute darkness, miles under the earth, and will trick you into thinking you can see the dark outline of your hand as you wave it in front of your face. That's when I imagine you'll finally hear the first noise in hours that you didn't make. There's an old Indian tale, dating back to 1850 CE, Common Era. It is said that if on the first full moon of the year, you walk down the beach alone and at exactly midnight you chant Old Grey Whale, small and frail, the sand will turn into a whirlpool, dragging you down and down, until you reach a cavern of water. In the cavern is only one thing, a scroll. On the scroll is written a riddle. If the person answers the riddle correctly he will be rewarded greatly. He will have good luck and fortune sprayed upon him and his family for as long as he lives. But if they answer the riddle incorrectly, in front of them will appear a whale, gray in color, it's not very big, and looks a bit frail. But don't underestimate him, because within seconds he will swallow you whole. Many people try, each year to answer the riddle. No one knows what it is, because no one has came back, except one person. The day he came back he won the lottery, $15.6 million. Lucky bastard. The next day he died of alcohol poisoning. The following day his wife was brutally slashed, his children mutilated. The only marks visible are what looks like whale teeth. From the size of the marks, it looks to be a small whale, probably old, and fragile. Fin. About 6 months ago I was in the Sierra Nevada, Golden Trout Wilderness. I wandered off of the trail I was on and hiked up a small ridge. I was at around 10,000 feet, and ancient foxtail pines surrounded me. They were all gnarled and sort of eerie to begin with, and I realized I was surrounded by a small grove of about 6 of them, all arranged in a circle. I think the fact that these trees were all most likely around 8 to 1400 years old has something to do with what happened next. I took the gum out of my mouth and stuck it onto one of the trees. I was under the impression that one day someone would walk by, see it and think, haha, that's funny, I guess someone else was here. Suddenly I felt terror, pure terror. A massive booming sound started filling the air around me. I couldn't understand what the hell was going on, but I swear I could feel vibration in my body from this sound. It was almost like the trees were angry at me. I was actually carrying a gun in the pocket of my down vest. But I didn't feel safe. I fucking ran. I ran as fast as I could, and the quicker I ran the quieter the sound got, but probably around halfway down the ridge I could still hear it. It was faint, but still there. This noise didn't fade in, it abruptly erupted out of nowhere. I have never felt fear like that before, but the next time I head out there I'm going back. I don't think I'll find those same trees. But I'll definitely find tons more of them.